Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we hope you all had great winter escape in January. But we are here to talk about Hallmark's version of the winter escape. Their movies for New Year's that used to be Winterfest. We're here to talk about them. There's four movies. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner. Jasmine's here.
Hey everybody.
And our friend Dara is here. Yeah.
Woo woo! What is up? What is up?
How are you doing?
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Yeah.
I'm just loving sliding into the new year calmly. And I love being here. Thank you for having me back. I feel like I was just here. I just put my coat on to walk out, and now I'm back. So this is great.
Well,
This is
we
great.
want to have you on as many times as possible. So this is perfect. And this is your first time with Jasmine. So
I
this is awesome.
We
All
have
right.
our moments on live sometimes, depending on where I'm at in the world. But like this the first.
Yes.
And go when I got on, I was like, Dara, you're here. This is the biggest surprise in 2025.
Yes. Well, so let's talk overall. So this was the first time that they're doing this winter escape. RIP Winterfest. We all miss it. But I guess how were you feeling going into it? And I guess your overall feelings coming out of it. What did you think, Dara, about it? About the idea?
Going in, I was like, And then coming out, I was like, well, they tried. So that's kind of, I think I appreciated them having a theme instead of like throwing pots and pans together and seeing what falls down the stairs, because I felt like that's what
Yeah.
we've been getting in January for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So I think I was more so just happy that they actually had a direction, they had a theme, they had a lineup, and for the most part they stuck to it. So so
Yeah. I mean,
that's it.
people can check out the preview that we did. We combined it with our preview of season 12 for When Calls the Heart. It was basically our New Year's episode, and I was pretty nervous because the travel movies can be very bad, very very bad, very bad, and there were some that I really didn't like, but there were a couple that I did like, and I do appreciate at least, like, I would say half of them had like a little bit of a winter theme. So there was like something. I mean, it was really just travel, especially like my Argentine Heart. And then the perfect setting was basically a Valentine's movie. They even had like Valentine's balloons, Valentine. It was obviously a Valentine's movie, and so whatever. But at least there were a couple nods to winter thrown in there. Okay, that. But yeah, is an interesting attempt. I still think that Winterfest. I mean, there were some bad Winterfest movies. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that Maze movie is an all timer. But uh, but there were some really good ones, and I just liked the whole idea of sort of transitioning away from Christmas into Winterfest was just so nice,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I
And there were
agree.
some very good ones too, like The Birthday Wish is one of my all-time favorites.
I didn't know there was a winter movie.
Yeah, yeah, that was actually, I think, the New Year's movie that year.
Oh
Pretty
wow. I have to
sure.
watch that one. I
Yeah,
haven't seen that in a long time.
it's one of my favorites. I really like it. But nevertheless, Jasmine, what about you? How did you feel going into it, and what was your takeaway leaving it?
So I'm not sure if Miko might interject a little bit, him doing his own thing. But when I first heard winter, escape, I'm
Winter
thinking, are
Escape?
they going into, I had two theories on this, two different theories. One, are they escaping the winter, going to a tropical area where there's no cold? That's in my mind, the first option.
Mhm.
Option two, I was thinking maybe their winter escape is from like a hot climate they've always been in, but they want to go somewhere winter in that sense.
Mm.
This is the first time I felt like this is the first time in history of like any type of winter that I was really confused, as in like, did they just throw in different like stuff because they didn't finish all the movie projects for the winter escape and they needed to do something last minute? Because I was like, I'm getting spring, I am getting
Yeah.
like
Well, New
winter.
Year's New Movies was totally that. I mean, I remember that one with Rebecca Dalton,
Woof.
where she has an eating disorder, and
I remember that.
she that one. I mean, she was wearing sundresses the entire time, and it was the New Year's movie, whatever it was called. It was the dogs.
Dog Lover's Guide to
Yeah.
Dating.
Yes.
That one was
So I'm just sitting
absolutely
here.
terrible.
So yes, I'm just sitting here like Hallmark, come outside. Dear Hallmark, not Dara, but dear Hallmark,
Yeah.
Just come outside. Like I need to talk. Like whoever was in charge of it, like I saw you had a vision.
Uh-huh.
This is the first round. Like I give you A for effort. But if we're gonna have some winter escapes, let's do some real winter escapes. Like,
Yeah.
let's do some
But
cabins. Let's do something to winter escape something. Okay. I'm trying
you
to stay
weren't a
different
big
places.
fan, Jasmine, of these movies.
I only have one that was my favorite out of these
Okay.
movies. Actually
Okay.
two. But I'm just saying it was just very like I got different theme movies that some of these movies should have been in their perspective in their rightful areas. Like spring movies, the Valentine movie, they should have been in their right era. I'm sitting
Mhm.
here, I'm ready for winter. As in
Yeah.
like I'm
No,
leaving
I agree.
Christmas. I'm leaving Christmas, going to have my winter fun with some
Hmm.
cocoa with somebody's son.
Come
That's what I was
on!
waiting for. Waiting for.
Well, I mean, that's just the thing is that like I know that Bill Abbott had his flaws as a human and as a CEO,
Yeah.
but the man was good at branding. And we
Yep.
knew when you sat down to watch a Hallmark movie, you knew what you were gonna get.
Come on.
And and I think there's something to be said for that. And now
Yes.
it's just like we got Ouija boards on the way home. We've got
I'm still on the
like
back
what
burner of that right now. Give me a moment to catch up, y'all, because I've been catching up on a lot of stuff on DVRs, and that one's sitting there like I'm
yeah.
gonna take my time with you because I'm in the middle of season two. I'm gonna get there.
Like on one hand, I admire the try new things, expanding. On the other hand, it's like you also have to know your audience, I think, a little bit. And I don't know. It's an
I want to ask
interesting
a I want to
dynamic.
ask a question off of that. Do you think now that the chief brand officer is now being put over programming, do you think that could in some way rectify that kind of missing brand element of it? Like, do you
I
think
didn't know
that
that. So they're
Ooh.
replacing Lisa with somebody who's going to be over.
No, so
Uh,
they eliminated her position altogether. So there's no longer going to be an EVP of programming. And
okay.
the guy who's currently the chief brand officer of cards
Oh, that's right.
is
Oh
also
wow.
going to do programming. So based off of what you're
Yeah.
saying, I'm curious if you think that that was a good move.
It's going to be really interesting to see because it's always
Yeah.
been so separate, the two
Hmm.
divisions. And our
Correct.
when Bill left and the card guy like stepped in and was like, making all these statements and stuff, we're like, ooh, like that's the card people. And like, yeah, but like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if to see what they do. And because I do think that it is a problem that if your content just becomes generic and diluted, then people don't know kind of because so much of business is about developing patterns of behavior and
Mm.
then rewarding the customers for those patterns of behavior, right? So that's what you want to do. So it's good to also develop new customers, and that's what you could make the argument that okay, we're bringing more people into the fold, but are you still rewarding those customers for the pattern of behavior of tuning
Hmm.
in every week, and then they break that pattern? Oh, we're gonna go and watch Netflix instead because they're more our thing, or we're gonna go do this instead. There's so much trying to get everybody's attention. Well, I'm gonna go watch Bridgerton instead. I'm gonna go watch whatever it is. I'll
Hmm.
watch Outlander. Um, and and so it's a tricky, very tricky thing that they have to work with here, and it's going to be fascinating to watch it.
Agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's going to make a difference?
I said this on the Hallmark Mysteries and More podcast. I genuinely have no, like, I was thinking it could go one of two ways. So at first I said, what does he have to do with programming? Because he's cards. Cards is something
Yeah.
completely different. It's a retail product, and we're
Yeah.
dealing with media, which is more intangible. So what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? You know what I mean? So I was curious. That whole thing. But then I
Yeah.
thought about it and I was like, well, we still have an SVP of programming. So there's still someone with boots on the ground developing. I don't know who that person is though, because they don't have their corporate webpage up anymore where you could see who each person is. I noticed that, or maybe they just hid it
Yeah.
even further and I didn't do enough digging, but I'm pretty sure like they don't have that corporate spread up anymore.
Huh.
So I'm thinking, is the chief brand officer now just going to be quality control and just kind of like look at the on the front end and say, well, I don't know if this has the Hallmark judge, let's try something different, and then that's it? Or is he actually going to have boots on the ground too? That's
Yeah.
my
Well,
overarching question.
and how is Hallmark Plus gonna work into this? Like, I kind of wonder if the reason that they were going to have The Way Home on Hallmark Plus instead of they were going to have it a first air on Hallmark Plus and then later this fall. I kind of wonder if part of the reason why they were going to do that is because they knew it was going to be an edgier season. And if you think about Chicken Sisters, that was also like edgier.
Very much so.
So it makes me think that maybe that was actually what they were thinking. Oh well, but then they got this big outcry, and so then now it's on Hallmark Channel. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating. And if anybody from Hallmark is listening, we would love to talk to you. We've had the people from Lifetime, from Up TV. We did talk to Samantha a couple years ago, but we would love to talk to you about this, and I know our audience would as well.
Ho, ho, ho! We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
But let's dive into these 4 movies. Let's talk about it. And we would love to hear, of course, any of the comments from listeners about what you think about all this with Hallmark and Winter Escape and everything. But let's talk about Love of the Irish. This was on the 4th. This is their New Year's movie. And they've had a rough few years for the New Year's movie. It
is an understatement.
It has been painful. And so,
agree.
so there we go. But this stars Sinead Grimes, Beach, and Stephen Hagen, and Maura Kelly, writer Justin James, and director Ali Biebert. And it's Fiona and her mother embark on an Irish adventure where Fiona unexpectedly finds love with a charming single dad who helps her embrace her own fortunes. So, Dara, what did you think overall of this one?
This one is probably duking it out with another movie for my favorite location and like the actual destination. But oddly enough, in terms of story, I cared more about the mother's birth mother more than I cared about Fiona and the dude. Because the way they even met rubbed me the wrong way, where she was like coming at him at the pool in the pub. And I'm like, girl, chill. Like, he just accidentally bumped into you and she went from 0 to 100 real quick. And so that was kind of off-putting, and their story was very slow, and I didn't see the chemistry, but I was very much captivated by the mother's birth story and her finding her birth mother, and then the scenery of Ireland. So that movie was a bit of a mixed bag for me.
What do you think, Jasmine, of this one overall?
I definitely like the story. I definitely was more sold into like the mother and and the birth mother story more. The chemistry was just off and on. Like I love my girl Shannon. I've been working with her since my Degrassi days. Whatnot. But I felt as though like I love the scenery. I love the history of it. It was just the fact that like I don't know, I feel like something was missing. Like I love like and mind you, I remember studying abroad. Like we had to be because we loud like us and you guys we loud. I remember one time like our friend was like, yeah, you gotta tone it down a little bit. Like, we were just chopping it up, like laughing and stuff, but people looked at them like, oh, I guess that's not the culture here. Okay. But yeah, she did she did go 180 over there, like get mad at him though. But other than that, like I love my girl Daisy though. My girl Daisy, her hair was popping. That's all I gotta say. My girl Daisy, she was popping.
Yeah, she was cute. I really liked this one. It's by far my favorite of the four. And I mean, any guy that's gonna give me a copy of Anne of Green Gables, I mean, you are like this guy really, I thought he was very swoony and very charming. Like maybe their chemistry wasn't amazing, but I really liked him a lot. And I did think that the mother-daughter relationship and then also like her separate story was really good.
Agreed.
And I really enjoyed it. I thought that they used I mean, there have been so many of these Ireland movies. I don't know what's going on, what kind of tax breaks they got in Ireland because like there's so many.
Let me know.
And,
Hello.
And they've had so many, and this is, I think, one of the better ones. I really did enjoy it, and I really loved this guy. Like, sign him up to a contract. Let's get him in more movies. He could be. He was really swoony to me, and that scene where they're in the truck and they have the subtle handhold. Oh, that is one of my favorite things in movies. I love a cute little handhold. Like, oh, I love that so much. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one a lot. And this Justin James, I think he did some things for Great American Family, but I don't think he'd done any Hallmark. Let's see here. Let's look at this. Yeah, he did this most recent Candace Cameron Bure movie for Great American Family.
Okay.
A Christmas Less Traveled it was called. I didn't see it. But anyway, and so welcome to Hallmark, because I thought this was really entertaining. I mean, I could have cared less about should I buy the ballet studio or should I not, or what is, I might get, like, I am sorry, but like I saw people on Letterboxd and they were all saying, they were like, of course she gives up her dream job for a man she's only known for 2 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, that's the correct choice. Like, I mean, I like, you can always find a job. Like, jobs come and go.
Men are forever.
A man who's giving you Anne of Green Gables and has a beautiful daughter and is super dreamy and wants to hold your hand in the back of a truck, that doesn't come around every day. Like, there's no question. You take the man and leave the job behind.
What job?
What job?
She had a callback. All she had was a callback.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't even a real job.
Not even an offer. Not even an offer saying, like, you have this offer.
Yeah. There's like this whole idea that like work and the dream, like that was the thing that annoyed me about La La Land. It's like she didn't even fight for her guy, and she picked being in a movie over this guy that she claimed to love. Like, that it's just in my experience, my life experience, no career is more important than actual relationships.
Come on.
It just
Preach,
doesn't-
Rachel, preach.
I mean, why do you think so many people in Hollywood end up like addicts and committing suicide and horrible stuff? It's not fulfilling. Like, it's all about the relationships that we have in life. And if a man's giving me angry Gables, I'm sticking with the man.
This is why Savoring Paris resonated with me so much, in the sense that like that whole corporate grind is for the birds. Go outside, breathe fresh air, put your like bare feet on the grass, and twirl around somewhere. Like this, I love that message so much. Life is so much more than work, but that's I feel like a symptom of our American culture, that we are like pumping this whole energy of like grind, hustle, do like climbing these ladders, and it's like one of these days those ladders are going to fall, and who's going to be there to catch you? You know.
I feel that. Yeah. Especially like when I was in Italy studying, just like having fun with my friends. Like, there's a time period between, for 4 hours, everything's mostly shut down in Italy. Like, you're going home for lunch, you're hanging time with your family. It's relax. I'm sitting here like they work, but they make time for their families during lunchtime. Like, this is what we need. I'm like, this is what we need. Okay.
Yes.
And can we talk about the fact that they did a whole dance thing in the middle of like the little thing? And how did she know the dance? And she barely looked up her own culture. Can we have a conversation about that? Because you did that the whole time. Can we have a conversation about that? Because it made no sense.
Also, the potato peeling contest was a little bit like, what's the rules here? I didn't quite get it. It was funny. But I really did think everything. I loved their relationship as a mother and daughter. I thought was really nice. And then like everything with Maura Kelly and her birth mom was, I thought, extremely well done.
Agreed.
Yes.
It was very nice. Like, she got pushed just enough that it wasn't like, it was still sort of her choice, and but like she got kind of pushed to do, to make steps, and their bond, it started to grow, and then when finally the reveal, it was very,
oh gosh,
that tore me up.
Yeah.
With the drawer, that tore me up. Oh man.
I thought this movie went from like a luck of Irish to Miracle of Christmas movie. I'm sitting here like, why is this happening? But it's happening so beautifully.
Yeah,
Irish Christmas. I changed it. It's called The Love of Irish Christmas. There you go. I changed
the all-time, it's not in Ireland, it's in Wales, but the Presence of Love is like the best of this kind of movie that they've ever done. Totally underrated. I love that one. This isn't quite on that level, but I think it had similar elements. Like, he has a daughter, and it's more than just a travel movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That one's so good. But yeah, there's this whole thing with the auction, and I liked that after they have their cute little handhold date, the other guy at I forget who that was at the pub was like, "Oh, you're smitten by her," that was cute. And then he gives her the Anne Gables, which, I mean,
and you were no more.
I mean, I love Gables.
Way to my heart is through books. If you
Here. I'll drink to that. I will drink to that.
Give you guys tips out there.
I love Anne Gables, and I just think that's a very like attractive quality. If any men are listening and you want to impress women, I'm serious. Like, start reading. And
yes,
I don't even care if it's like comic books or if it's like who cares? I don't care. It would just be like, ooh, it's just such an attractive quality.
And then don't say, "Oh, I think you'll like this book," or "This book made me think of you." The answer is yes. That's what that means.
I don't mind you laying, by a fireplace. I'm just laying against you while you're reading a book, but glass of
reading
Hallmark
date.
wine sitting there, and we're having this romantic rom-com moment. Like, let's have
Yeah.
it. Like, I'm setting up the
It's like
atmosphere right
I was
now.
gonna say, set it up, Jazz. Set
it's like
it
I
up.
love that one with Jen Lilly and Kevin McGarry.
The Winter Love Story.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
one's a good
Yeah.
one. He's like the
Yeah.
hunky author reading.
Yes, I remember
They're
that.
like reading together.
That was my
Yeah.
first Kevin McGarry movie because I was like, "Who is
Oh, really?
Mr. Old Blue Eyes?" I said, "Okay."
Yes.
I asked him about that when I interviewed him years ago. This is probably 3 years ago. I said, "Have you ever gotten a role just because of your blue eyes?" And he was like, "Maybe, I don't know," because he does have the most blue eyes of any human.
Literally.
Yeah, but I really, like I said, I really liked this guy. I thought he was just super swoony, and then you get this whole like rush to the airport thing. She's leaving, and she leaves the dance shoes for the girl, and that was fun. That whole, Ray, we gotta go after her.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I should get on the plane or not. I always love like a race to the airport. Big
Okay.
fan.
You
Yeah.
like those kind of like race to the
Oh,
airport,
yeah.
declare your love,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
stay
yeah.
here with.
I mean, they're so hard to pull off now because there's all the security and the whatever, but
And that now how they used to. Should be easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that trope, or no?
Just don't say I love you after 2 weeks. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
After
that's fair.
I can do everything else unless you say I love you, and then I check out because I'm like, you don't even know my middle name, boss. Like you can't say that.
That's true. That's true. They've gone through different phases. Hallmark has with the "I love you,"
I agree.
because I mean, back when I first started watching Hallmark movies, one of my favorites is called The Nanny Express. This was from
yes.
like 2014. It was Brendan Elliott, I think, his first Hallmark movie, really early on. Very good movie, and it's so cute at the end of that movie. Even though she's been their nanny, so they've known each other for a while, he says, "Will you go on a date with me?"
Yes.
So cute. So cute. And yeah. So but then other times when they'd be real fast and loose with that "love you."
Fast and loose is a great term for that because I'm just like, whoa, bucko. Like, what are we doing here? What do you mean you love me? It's just, it's weird for me.
What do you think, Jasmine, of the race to the airport trope?
I gotta love those moments. And if you bring like a nice snack for us, when we're leaving the airport, that'd be really, really helpful because I had to go to the airport contemplating my life, and you talking about you love me and stuff. I'm like, I want to be with you, okay, but let's make sure you have a snack. If we're doing this in the at Union Station, you better pick me up a bagel because the bagel will be fire. So on the way back, like, let's get this bagel. I got your favorite, the best besides saying
cute, like, because the little girl, you've got to fight for her.
Yes, for mom.
I like that.
Yeah, that was nice. And she's gonna rent out the studio. I found a better horizon.
Yes,
that was nice.
And I'm surprised that he wasn't there at the end. That's the only thing. Like, I got the text message, but it was like he wasn't there to show up. That's the only thing I was kind of.
Yeah.
Because that's like my number 2. That's my number 2 slot for this ranking. So this movie did take number 2.
3 months later, then we get the Better Horizon Dance Studio.
After she done hit a man with coal and cooked some pot, like that part had me cracking up.
Broke the wishing tree. I was like, dang.
All the things they were doing for luck, which also made me think. I'm like, oh, they could have put this in March because ever since, as luck would have it, I don't think we did any type of like St. Patrick Day leaning movies, and so I'm like, yo, this would have been a really good one for March because the focus was luck. So that was something that was going on in the back of my head while watching this too.
Yeah, I still wouldn't be surprised if we ended up getting the groomsmen in March.
Oh yeah, because March is the dead month as we wait for spring. So that's probably, I completely agree with you there.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I wouldn't mind that because I'm give me a moment, Hallmark. I'll buy my subscription. Give me a moment. Guys, in March, I'll march my way to the groomsmen and sit there with my popcorn.
Come on.
I wouldn't mind it because we've already recapped it, so it makes my life easier.
Rachel's like, I got 3 weeks off.
Yes. Okay. So is there anything else? I thought they could have done more with that guy and Daisy. Their like
Yes.
little flirting was cute. I was like, I could have
Yes.
done more.
Agreed.
They were
Agreed.
fun. I like that he's like not superstitious. She's like more into the whole sort of Irish lore and everything going on, and he's just like, probably not. That was cute. But I really did love that whole the little date and the little handhold in the truck. Like that was really good, I thought. So, okay. Well, I would give this one out of our 5 crowns. I would give this one, I would probably give it a 4. I really enjoyed it. What would you give it, Dara?
3.5.
Yeah.
3.5.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Jazzman, what about you?
This is a little 3.5/4 for me. Because this was actually really strong to start off with. I was surprised.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And everything. I was laughing at some points and stuff like that. So this definitely was in that realm. That was my top 2 out of the 4 movies.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast. My name is BJ.
And my name is Me Too, and we promise this promo is worth it, so please don't skip ahead.
We're 2 judgy friends who put our judgmental skills to work for you. We review the pilot episodes of new and popular shows and shows that our listeners request to answer your question, should I watch this?
Look, a lot of us are spending a lot more time at home, and yes, we should be reading and trying new projects and enriching ourselves, but does anything beat binging a great show?
Let us take the guesswork out of deciding what your next show will be. Tune in to The Pilot Podcast at thepilotpodcast.com.
So then we have on the 11th, we had Polar Opposites. This stars Rhiannon Fish and Markine Tarasic. And it's director Colin Thays, writer Barbara Kamlicka. And it's Emma needs to get to Antarctica to reach her father and travels to South America, but can't get on a boat for the last leg. She sneaks onto a cruise ship and meets engineer Andy. So I'll say first, I liked this movie way more when it was on the boat than I did off the boat, because I like a certain kind of like madcap, silly comedy. And I noticed that, and I may be different than other Hallmark fans, because I really liked Costa Rican Wedding, which also had that kind of madcap sensibility kind of to it. It was a true comedy. And I appreciate the Rhiannon, because I hated that picture movie. Not for me. The photography movie. I appreciate that at least the last couple movies, and even the Norwegian movie, that was a little silly too. I appreciate that she's been doing some like true comedies. And I'd say lean into that even more. Like, let's keep going, because I like that. I think it's fun. I just had a hard time getting invested in like saving Lola the penguin. Like, it just like once they were out in Antarctica, not only were there some like very shady visuals going on, but it became really repetitive and just kind of like, okay, let's move this along. I liked everything on the ship much better. I don't know, Jazzman, what do you think?
Before I give my piece, you guys already know how they do. They green screen in all their movies.
Yes.
It's wintertime, if they're on safari. You know how Hallmark do their thing. But for me, this is my number 1 movie out of the whole ranking. I said what I said. All right. Hallmark, and I will say this: I was not expecting y'all to give me a Hallmark version of the Titanic, and I was here for everything. Like, literally, she was literally Jack. She's illustrated. I'm like, that's Jack right there. Okay. They confirmed it in the middle of the movie when I was like, yeah, it's not the Titanic. I'm like, because it is the Titanic, okay? You got Lola and the other penguin, her boo. Like, that was the door. That was the door, okay? You had
I mean, they expected us to feel that kind of emotion for like I mean, it went into all this detail. We've got to invent this whole device that's going to drag the iceberg, and we're going to get. I mean, it is like a lot of drama going on.
Like Rachel, like literally, her dressing up in like as Ricky, as one of like the little stewards people. That was kind of like how Jack kind of dressed up to be at the party to go to the dinner thing. Like this was literally Hallmark's version of Titanic. No one died. The boat did not sink. Everyone lived happy ever after. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, Dara,
I do like to be on the boat more, though. Even though outside of the rank was pretty fun too, but it was so much comedy on that boat.
Dara, what did you think of this one?
Rachel, I'm on the same lines as you. It felt like two different movies.
Yeah,
and
it did.
Going in, I thought the whole movie was going to be about her getting to Antarctica. So when we got to Antarctica halfway through, I'm like, well, what are we going to do for another hour? And then I'm like, oh, they need to show that he can actually engineer stuff. I feel like that's all the second hour was just proof that the career that he had was legitimate. And so like he had to...
It's true.
He had to do the thing, because I'm like, once we found Pops, I was like, all right, he's good now. What we doing? And so
I didn't really understand, why didn't they just like go on their boat and grab the penguin and move him over? Why did they have to move the whole iceberg?
I think they were talking about shark infested waters or something.
No, the whales.
The whales.
The whales.
They're dangerous, or
because they were out in the boat in the rafts and stuff at other times, and I was like, why didn't they just move?
They needed Andy to engineer stuff, Rachel. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They needed.
See, the question is, I didn't check at all, but I think the penguins are on the dangerous species list.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of. I'm not an expert on penguins. It seems like there's a lot of penguins. I don't know. But this whole thing was filmed in Argentina. Like,
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
What?
It was filmed in Argentina in like, if you've heard of like the Patagonia area of Argentina, because I guess almost nothing is actually filmed in Antarctica. Very, very, very few. It's like have you ever seen The Thing, John Carpenter, The Thing? That was actually filmed in Antarctica, but like very, very few movies are actually filmed in Antarctica.
You know what?
I want my money back. No, I want my money back.
I was more impressed with the part where they went up to the off the dock part towards the end of the boat, thinking they had to have their whole little Jack and Rose situation, like in the air, like ooh, that didn't happen. But still,
filming location, Patagonia, Argentina.
And then the cold plunge, that was Argentina.
That was Argentina.
That ain't right.
The whole thing was Argentina.
It ain't right.
Yeah,
I want my money back.
Which they didn't even need to do the cold plunge. That's like unnecessary.
Yeah, like did we not like literally? I felt as though that cold plunge. I know it kind of was like kind of tip to the Titanic per se, but like it was cold.
That's what it
was.
Knew
what happened in the water. You died after within like the first 30 seconds in deep cold water. Did we not learn this in history?
There's other things you can do to get ideas.
I was confused about like, why are they doing this? And so I was like, I'm going to rewind. So I rewind and then I like, oh yeah, it's to get us thinking.
That's what I'm saying. 0 to 100 too quick, and it's just like there's so many other things you can do besides jump into sub-zero temperature water to make yourself feel alive.
Even just take a cold shower. That would be safer.
An ice bath.
An ice bath.
Now I think about this, like they could have got attacked by the whale. Like they didn't think about this.
You know, there were all these people on Letterboxd and online and stuff that were like, "This is illegal, like to be a stowaway." Absolutely, it is illegal. But like, and then I looked up because I was curious that in the United States, the punishment for being a stowaway on a vessel or aircraft can include fines and imprisonment. The severity of the punishment depends on the circumstances. Stowaways may be fined under blah, blah, blah. In imprisonment, stowaways may be imprisoned for up to 5 years. I was honestly surprised it wasn't more.
Wow.
Up to 5 years. And actually, see, if the stowaway intends to cause serious bodily injury and actually causes injury, the maximum penalty is 20 years in prison. If the stowaway intends to cause death, the penalty can be life in prison. Both fines and imprisonment, stowaway may be subject to both Stowaways may be subject to both fines and imprisonment. So basically, like so I actually don't know if her punishment would be as bad as like people were saying online, because like her motives were so pure.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like if you're intending to cause injury, if you're intending to cause death, then you will get a much harsher penalty than if you're just a stowaway. It could be a fine, or it could be in prison for up to 5 years. So,
also, do you really need like a permit to go to Antarctica?
I don't know. I didn't look that up. I should have.
Because I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson went to Antarctica.
Stuff.
There are?
I've seen that before.
That's wild. Because I know the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Norwegian
he was there with his
cruise
son.
line cruise to Antarctica. Let's see.
Wow.
Let's see. Hop continents on an immersive, unforgettable repositioning cruise. Let's see. Extraordinary destinations, Antarctica. Wow. There are cruises to Antarctica. So you must have a way to do it, but you obviously can't like
get off.
You can't just like not even be on the list, but
right.
but they're saying she doesn't have a ticket or a permit. And then but I didn't really care about any of that because it was funny. The whole like back and forth between the captain and her, and that was funny to me.
What do you the ending scene wasn't earned to me. Like I felt like they gave up at the end when the chief officer or whatever was just like, oh well, for love and the penguins. And then all of a sudden she liked her second in command. I was like, stop.
Yeah, no, I agree. That didn't work. But just that comedy, as I always say, funny saves all. So if I'm laughing, I do not care if it's
illegal.
If it's illegal or illogical or silly.
I'm with you when you're right,
That's right.
Like it was like a missed opportunity because they could end the little baby penguin like happy off of Happy Feet, but that was a missed opportunity. I was kind of sad about that.
They really did think the penguins were like, and we just saw the penguins how many times though? Because they didn't even show them that much. They were cute, Tooties.
They were cute.
I was like, oh.
I'm
not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not sure this is like random or we're just getting older. I'm sitting here looking like, the older like guys who are just turning to zaddies. I'm here like, why is her daddy like cute? I'm like, this
talk about it, Jazz.
I'm like, you're really handsome. Like, are you in more movies that I don't know about?
Well, Dean McDermott, he's Tori Spelling's husband, I think. Pretty sure that's her husband. Welcome back to Hallmark. He did a Hallmark movie years ago. What was it called?
Because I don't follow with his eyes. I'm over here looking like I feel like I'm in a 90s like dream. Like I'm sitting home like Beverly Hills 90210 situation per se.
Rachel's just blowing our minds today. This is wild.
I mean, I do run a podcast for Hallmark movies. I got to stay up on this kind of stuff.
Come on. This is why you the card-carrying film critic. You carry the card for a reason.
I'm over here looking like...
He was in... What was the name of his Hallmark movie that he was in? It was a high school reunion. Always and Forever.
That sounds so familiar.
Always and Forever, Marla Sackhoff.
What year did that come out?
Yeah.
2009. So we're going way back.
Oh, God. I was in college.
Me too.
Welcome back, Dean. Welcome back to Hallmark.
Back, because I was over here talking.
Now you're the dad.
He needs to get a movie where he's the lead.
Okay, I definitely need him with a lead movie because
yeah.
I like
get Tori Spelling too.
I liked the scene where the captain is getting the massage and she ends up in there.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Like I don't know how to do this. And that was funny.
Yeah.
They say funny saves all. I
do think it was cute too how you could see her and Andy's relationship grow with her being in the cabin. I did think those little scenes with them like playing games and whatever and asking the deeper questions, like I thought that was really, really cute.
The worst visual moment of the movie was when they had the fake Southern Lights.
Oh,
like we didn't need that. Like there was no need. They could have just been like stars. Look how pretty the stars are.
Right?
You know,
it's not a Hallmark destination movie if we ain't got no type of whether northern or
Southern
southern.
Lights.
That is true.
We gotta have it.
Yeah. So then we have and I also kind of thought her dad, like he didn't even like it didn't even occur to him that she'd be alarmed that he, you know, you think he would be like, oh, I should have, you know, made sure you knew I was okay. And no, I guess.
Well, I don't think he knew he was breaking up when he called her.
Yeah, because he drops the phone.
Oh, I guess and then he was just like, well, okay. Yeah, but I don't know if he knew the connection wasn't that.
Yeah, because guess it was spotty.
Because I think that I would, if I'd had something like that happen, I would make sure that my daughter knew I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's focused on his other daughter, Lola.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. He was really
okay.
I mean, I don't have children, but that's just what I would do.
Dude, like she even have a penguin named after her. A penguin is dedicated to her. Like, yeah, my dad named a penguin. Yeah. That's her child that she can't take home though. That's her child.
But pretty much, from the, where do I say here? I was like, let's see here. Pretty much everything going on with Lola and everything. I was like, this is not interesting. I wrote down, I was like, everything since they got off the ship is not as good. And then, it just felt like they were just making up stuff to do, like the polar plunge, and then the dad hurts his leg, and they broke so many of the rules, and I don't know. I was just starting to get bored with the movie.
And the chest pains was just an ingestion. So
all this to save the penguins isn't that interesting. That's why I wrote.
That was hilarious, though.
I was like, you brought me all the way over here for some indigestion. I was fired up.
Hey, that was kind of like a perfect catalyst for her to get on the boat anyways. If that wasn't his chest pain turned to indigestion for her to go on that boat, we wouldn't have the comedy we had.
You're right.
So then they get this cable to try to bring they have this device that they invent, and then they have the cable, and she saves the day by connecting she has the what is it?
Rachel, you just sound like you do not care.
The saw, she saves the cable.
You're like, I just need to get through this because I don't care.
Yeah, no, I really didn't. But she saves the day, and he's like, oh, you did it. You saved it. And she's like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Her hiking skills, y'all. Her hiking skills.
Yeah, she has like an axe. It's like a pick, thing.
Yeah, the pick one, like you use for the ice and stuff. The one you see on Frozen.
Yeah, a lot of near kisses in this movie. They get close. And then they're at the end. They're all like, "I can't stop thinking about you. Please don't go away. Don't leave." And she they have a shut up and kiss me moment, and whatever. Yeah, this one I would never watch again. I liked the beginning because I thought it was kind of funny, but I'd give it like, I'd give it like a 2.5, maybe 3 out of 5. What do you think, Jazzman?
This is my 4. It's my 4. But yeah, I definitely would have loved them 2/3 of the movie to be on the ship, and then they got off to save the dad real quick and figure out how to build things with the team, and then got out real quick. But it was more comedic on the ship more than ever, and I did join the little stuff out, them writing and stuff. But it's my 4 best. That was like for me for this whole entire series. This was the best out of the bunch that I was more invested in.
Right. What about you, Dara? What about you?
I would give it like a low 3, like a low 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my lowest of, unfortunately, my lowest of the whole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about my Argentine heart. This was on the 18th. Juan Pablo de Pace and Julie Gonzalo, director Terry Ingram, writer Joao Boken. They've both been so good in the past. Abril goes to Argentina to save her family ranch from being bought by her ex. But when outside forces threaten the ranch, the pair must come together, rekindling their love in the process. Look, I wanted to like this movie.
I was invested, y'all.
Like, I appreciate that both of these actors are from Argentina heritage. They both, it was all filmed there. I really do. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, it was one of the most painful movies I've watched in a long time. And I mean, just if I heard them, I felt like I was going to be triggered if they said investor one more time. I mean, I could care. Like, it was so frustrating because it was like, how in the world can you not think of something more interesting to do with a story in Argentina than just talking about who owns this business and who's going to buy it and who's going to buy the property? It was so dull. I was so bored, and it affected everything. Like, and I didn't think that the chemistry wasn't there, the swooniness wasn't there. It was just like, it was bad. And like, why do they think that we care about who owns the business?
You guys are making Rachel cry. This is not okay.
This is not okay.
Rachel get upset about. Like, all the time I listen to Rachel.
But like,
she is physically upset.
You've got like Belinda who wants to own the restaurant, and you've got her who she has this she has the ranch, but she's got her life in wherever, New York or Philadelphia, I forget.
Boston.
And Boston. And you've got him, and it was so much business. I even wrote in my notes, if they talk about investors one more time, ... It was just, and they fought a lot. I just thought this movie was so boring. I was so frustrated, and like, why did they make it this way? I don't understand. Like, it's just frustrating. It's one thing to have a bad movie. It's another thing to have a bad movie with lots of good ingredients.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
This could have been the perfect Argentina Valentine movie, but they just missed out on the opportunity for this. They did.
Yeah. It was just so much business, so much talking about who's going to buy the property. I just didn't care. I don't know. What do you think? What did you think, Dara, about this one? How do you feel?
I was definitely higher on it than you were.
I mean, he worked in finance after all. That's so exciting.
Just had to legitimize that. But I loved Argentina as a location, and I was grateful that I think this is our first time here. So I like that
Except
we had
for polar opposites.
Oh, we don't talk about Bruno.
Right,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I think so.
But we didn't have a chance to explore it on Polar Opposites. We were just, it was there, and we were supposed to imagine it on a boat. But being there,
it was a pretty place.
Was really cool, and I appreciated, much like you, Rachel, like Juan and Julie being actual Argentinians in this movie. I loved her cousin Belinda. I thought she was really adorable. This one was a weird slow burn for me. Like, it was slow, but because it came after Polar Opposites, I liked it. So that's because I watched all of the Winter Escape movies live. So because I was kind of defeated with Polar Opposites, and then I watched this, I was like, okay, I can get down. I love Juan and Julie together as leads. And I was just here for all the Latin. I think that's what it was. I think they could have been selling Argentinian phone books, and I think just because we were in Argentina, I was there for it. I mean, I appreciated also like this is one of my least favorite things that we do with our destination movies. when you're trying to educate me and then talk about the way that they try to like educate you it's very off-putting because it's so blatant and overt, and it's just like, ew, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
Like
nothing was worse than the Christmas in Rome.
Oof.
That movie was painful of like, let's show Lacey around and explain every single thing that she's seen the whole time. Yeah, no, that's the worst. But yeah, so I get that. If you like Argentina movies, you should check out one thing I kept thinking about that's really funny, especially when she got in that gaucho outfit.
Yes.
There's a very famous Goofy short. The Gaucho Goofy.
Wow.
Yes, that's part of the Three Caballeros, or part of that. Where they introduce you to Gaucho culture and Goofy, and you're like,
I trust Goofy.
Kind of Goofy.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I know wish they hadn't had all of the investor stuff. It was just so not interesting. And
I think they tried to do too much.
You knew, of course, how it was going to end, so it's not like there was any real tension or.
Yeah, and I never read the synopsis prior to this, so the fact that it jumped so much between her versus Diego and then the both of them versus the banker guy, I was like, oh. So I didn't know that was going to happen, and I thought it was weird.
Sometimes I think they overcomplicate these movies.
Honestly,
if it had just been like them like holding hands and like learning how to
tango
gaucho and like hanging out, and I'd been fine with that.
This could have been another, like, I'm burnt out on life. Let me go back to the ranch in Argentina and get back in tune with my culture. And I think that would have been come on, he can take her to restaurants. We can see the food. We can do a tango lesson. Can you imagine the scene if Juan Pablo de Pace and Julie Gonzalo were doing they gave us a little something of that. Come on. Like, we could have had something. I do think that probably now it brings my rating lower now that I thought about that.
Thank you for rewriting.
So, like they overcomplicate it when really you could have. I mean, I would have been fine with a hangout movie.
Yeah,
they're just hanging out, getting to know one another.
She's reconnected with her roots. I would have loved one of those. Yeah.
Make it like kind of a take on Persuasion a little bit, where you got the old love that she had, second chance romance. You're fine. You got it.
Mm-hmm. Or even a little love triangle. I like me a little triangulation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only love triangle I saw was with her and the investor and the ex about selling that damn ranch. That's the only love triangle that I saw that was in my background.
I just like every time that investor guy would appear, I'd just be like triggered. Like, go away, I hate you. But I mean, Jazzman, how did you feel about it? What did you think?
Honestly, Dara, thank you for rewriting the story because it needed to be I lost interest after the first 20 minutes. It became background noise. And the fact that I'm literally naturally funny. Rachel, we talked about this. I'm naturally funny without trying to be funny, but I'm naturally funny. And this is a true story. And I felt as though this really could have been a very amazing, February movie where, my Argentina heart, that could have been where she, you said, she could have came back after the whole thing back at home. I'm going back to the home country to get myself together. Fall in love back with the ex or whatever case may be, but fall in love back into the city as she grew up in the summertime. Yes. It could have been everything about Argentina, what made her, that's part of her. And she fell in love back with herself, with the culture, with the band. And I'm sitting here this was a missed opportunity. And I sat here that dang ranch, that dang selling this, everybody owes somebody here. I had to sell this to do that.
Yeah, or even what if you had Belinda is getting married, so she has to go back to Argentina for her. Who was Belinda? Her cousin?
Yeah, the cousin. Yeah, the cousin gets married.
Mm-hmm. So Belinda's getting married. She has to go back. She goes back. she sees him again. Oh, it's persuasion all over again. I left you to go to the big city. Oh, it's not that great. So look at you. There you go. You got your movie.
Boom. One of
Yeah,
the
I
lines.
guarantee you, Jasmine and I messaging to each other while watching this movie is funnier than anything in this romantic comedy. Like we were cracking each other up.
Like it makes like it's like off camera stuff, y'all. It gets like that. It's like that with me. It's like that with Mahogany Cast. We really be having these moments off, like in the chat, where you miss out stuff on air when we talk about this.
I think even to your point, Jazz, like one of the lines she said in the movie that could have been a beautiful catalyst for that storyline that you were talking about. She said at one point, I was too Argentinian to be American and too American to be Argentinian. And I'm like, yo, how beautiful would it have been that she goes back to Argentina and she finds like she finds a place where she fits, where she belongs, where like we could have went Presence of Love vibes in Argentina. Like we could have went there. We really could have went there, because I'm like, you don't put a line like that in a movie like this and then brush over it with all the investor nation, what's your station type stuff. Because I think that was a very powerful line, especially for like Latina women who are underrepresented in the Hallmark community. Like they could have done so much with that. Yeah,
Definitely.
Right, the food was looking fire and stuff. I tried to have a whole like Barcelona situation from Cheetah Girls 2 from going around the city. Like I wanted that and did not get it. So I'm sitting here like, well, come on. I would have visited. Mind you, I know a news station anchor. I don't know personally though, but she, she's part Argentina, so she goes back there all the time when she used to do news work and talk about the city and everything. I'm saying like, I knew more about Argentina from you than from my classes. I'm like, and I want to go visit.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, it's just anything would be better than this investor story. It was painful. It really
the rest wasn't even popping like that. I'm not gonna lie, the rest was like not even popping. I'm thinking like, that's it. I think the rain will be like fire. Like it wasn't fire.
I didn't even know it was a ranch until they said it. I was like, oh,
and then
okay.
she gets the new job so she can pay off the loan and saves the day. And then they're going to be what if we're business partners? Oh, no kidding. And he's like, no. And then he brings her, because he has this letter. Oh, I never sent the letter. And then he says, we'd be stronger doing it together. So there we go. So yeah, just for the like some pretty images, I'll give it a 2, but I really didn't like it. What about you, Jasmine? What would you give it?
It is a 2, and it is the last on the list to make it. I'm sorry, but go back to the drawing board, revisit Argentina again, take our ideas that we talked about. Yeah. Give us credit though, because we can
executive producers.
Just saying.
Story by
hello,
Rachel and Dara. Dara, what would you give it?
So I did give it a 4. I'm gonna knock it down to a 3.5. But I liked it better than Polar Opposites because I liked watching Julie and Juan more than I did Markian and Rhiannon. And I liked Argentina better than Argentina in Polar Opposites, now that I know it was Argentina.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm holding a grudge on that, but yeah. So it's a 3.5, but it's a high 3.5 because I liked it more than Polar. So
okay.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
It's a 3.5, but it's a high 3.5 because I liked it more than Polar. So
Okay, our last movie is called The Perfect Setting. This is on the 25th. Lacey J. Malley and David Elsendorn, and writers Julie Kim, Corinne Marwood. They've done tons of these movies. And Nina Weinman, director Jonathan Wright. An aspiring jewelry designer returns to Belgium to visit her grandfather and hopefully win the Valentine's Day diamond contest. So, Jasmine, what did you think about this one?
So what I think about this movie is if Romeo and Juliet and the Lizzie McGuire movie had a baby, this would be this movie. And let me tell you, I kept looking at her, I'm like, she reminds me of like the Hallmark version of Hilary Duff. Can you be in more movies? Because I'm feeling her vibe. I kept looking, I'm like, I'm feeling your vibe. And that what it was. It was like, her grandfather, and then the guy she met, like his dad, they were beefing, like, just like, in Romeo and Juliet, just in the jewelry world. You get to see part of Belgium. I'm like, now I want to go visit Belgium. I'm like, I love the Belgian waffles. But like, I'm just sitting here like, Andrew, I want to go visit. I'm like, I love like the, how everything just kept up and just, it was just beautiful walking the city. I'm like, this is gorgeous. I'm like, learn about Antwerp Diamonds. The only time I learned about Antwerp Diamonds is watching Head Over Heels, with Freddie Prinze Jr. That's my movie, y'all. That's my movie.
I think this movie is fine. Like, to me, this is like your basic Hallmark movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is one of those Hallmark movies where you can just fill in the blank. Here it's diamond contest. You could have it be a cooking contest. You could have it be sewing, like whatever is the like whatever local contest you're doing here. Diamonds, which was a little hard to get invested in, but still, chocolate contest, we've seen that many times. Whatever. And the two of them, they are from opposing sides. That's where you get your Romeo and Juliet, and they had like pretty nice chemistry. They're in a fun place. Like, this was a very basic Hallmark movie, but it was fun enough, I think, but nothing special. What do you think, Dara?
Call me a basic girl. This was my favorite of the month. This was my favorite of the month. I'm sorry. Between Lacey's wardrobe during this whole movie and David's just adorableness, like him from Norwegian
really
Hollywood, like his facial expressions, his mannerisms, like he was into her, and you could tell, like he said it with his whole chest. He was like, I'm feeling you, I want to date you. And she was the one that was hard pressed, like, no. I'm like, I don't want something like that.
That was fun when they're like, is this a date, when they're making the waffles?
Yes, the whole her dress for the day, loved it. Woo! I'm so happy to see Lacey doing more Hallmark movies, because once Chesapeake Shores ended, I like the whole cast in and of itself. I was like, where are they at? And now we're starting to see a lot of them do, except for Amelia Ullerup. I miss her. She hasn't been out in a couple years. I
don't know what she's been up to, but yeah, that's true. It's been a bit for her since that Retreat movie. I think it's the last one.
Yeah, that was 2023. So, but I'm grateful we got to see Megan Ori during Christmas, and now we get another Lacey movie, because she had a movie last January with Marco Grazzini. But I'm here for Belgium. I'm here for the adorableness. I'm here for the kiss while we jewelry design in my dad's shop after closing hours. I'm here for it. I'm here for the jewelry. I'm here for the slide into Valentine's Day, because even though like it was a Valentine's Day contest, it didn't have the focus on Valentine's Day like a lot of our hardcore Valentine's Day movies had. So I felt like this was a nice kind of like, at first I was suspect, because I'm like, here we go again, not knowing our brand and doing a Valentine's Day movie in January. But when I watched it, I was like, okay, this was cute, because the focus really wasn't Valentine's Day throughout the movie. It just kind of nodded it to it at the end once you did the celebration and all of that. But yeah, I loved this so much.
It was cute. Like, sometimes you just, like I said, sometimes I think they overcomplicate these movies. Sometimes you just want a basic, sweet Hallmark movie. That's what you want.
Yeah. And
then whoever the girl was, and like her coworker, I need her to be in the front for next movie, because I'm feeling her vibe. I'm like,
she was good.
She was good. I'm thinking like, why was she not in the other lead or other movies for Hallmark? I'm like,
yes.
They didn't talk about with Danny, but I'm like, why are these ladies are still saying, as the side characters.
Yeah.
Best friend, yeah.
Put them in the front. Like, they could carry this.
Yeah.
Well, and so then, like, I mean, his dad bribing the judges.
First of all,
Yeah.
He is
I mean,
hype.
I expect more from our international diamond competition judges. I mean, really.
he did not believe in his son that much that
Right,
he had
that
to
part.
bribe the judge because he was like, "Oof, I don't think he actually gonna win this on his own. Let me get his judge somebody."
Who would
It's
think that international diamond competition judges could be so easily bribed?
You know what? They could buy their way until win number one. We've seen them
Yeah.
over the years. People buy.
But like, and then she doesn't win, and I was sort of surprised by that. But then she wins audience favorite, which is
I
like,
actually like that. I
Yeah,
like
I
that
do.
it didn't like she didn't win because then I think it would have been too basic Hallmarky
yeah,
if she would have won at the end. So I like that they gave her kind of like the fan favorite award. I thought that was cool.
yeah. And you did get a pretty early kiss in this movie. Yeah, they're working on that ring, and now we're in trouble.
I feel like this was the perfect setup. Like, even though I was kind of like mad that it did like end up in this, winter escape, slot, but it felt like it was a perfect setup to, get people like they're doing rings, they're making rings because it's Valentine's Day coming up. So make sure you get your girl that ring,
Yeah.
Just saying.
And then and it was kind of cute. How did you feel about the ending though, Dara, with him giving her the ring and being like, it's not love, but like it's
I didn't believe it
hold
because
on
I
to
was
it.
like,
hold on to it or something.
Yeah, I didn't like. I was like, it's still a ring, and it still means something when a guy gives a girl a ring. And so that I'm like, at least let it be some earrings. Like, let it be like some like maybe out of print, out of stock earrings that you don't have anymore, and that are really special or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think they probably should have just been like next year,
boom,
or whatever.
yeah.
But we all saw the ring though. They all saw the ring prior to, it was blinded, so no one knew who had what ring. But I love the sentiment around the ring. They built it. It's kind of like they built that love. Oh, they built the ring with love, and just like it was part by his mother's ring, and like the essence, like that. It was like his mom gave like the I love this girl. Let's make the ring, and then like
you're making me like it more, Jazz. Oh my god.
I'm just now you're moving up to like number 2 now.
Well, and he's like competitive with his brother,
Who we don't see.
We don't even see like that. Thank you.
He's like Maris from Frasier. We never.
His perfect brother. I mean, had his brother passed away? Was he alive?
No, I thought he was still. He's just in the States, in Ohio, with his family.
Ohio, okay. And she's able to pay the mortgage back when she wins for her grandpa, and so.
The one thing I didn't like was where she worked. I didn't care about that. Like the jewelry store where she worked, and then her boss trying to come in and eat off of her being in the competition. They could have took that.
I didn't care about that
part.
That part.
Yeah, I didn't like any. I thought that was like low hanging fruit, and we could have just kept that off.
That part.
Her boss shows up. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was enough with like the dad bribing the judges, and we didn't need that with her boss. I agree. But yeah, she wins the audience award. He withdraws, and she's very upset about that.
Yeah.
And then the dad's like, "Sorry, mistakes were made."
Sir,
you were the mistake. Anyway.
He's trying to dilute a bribery. Like,
like you have to do this. You have to. I'm like, no, I don't. Yes, you do.
He voluntold his son.
Okay, that's what it was.
To be in this competition.
So it was a cute movie. I would give it like a 3.5 for me for this one. What about you, Jasmine? What would you give it?
This is definitely a 3.7. I should round it to 4. Even though it's not good. Yeah, I'm gonna raise my spot, put the Irish one in the 3rd, put this 2nd.
Yeah. What about you, Dara? What are you giving it?
Solid 4. Solid
nice.
4. It was a solid movie. Yeah.
All right. Let us know. And I also will comment that the poster for The Perfect Setting was absolutely atrocious, and they need to stop with these AI.
I'm mad at that.
Posters.
I thought it was spring.
It looked like they looked it looked like a bad Harlequin cover.
Come on.
And even like on a bad day.
It's just like there's only
better.
so much Photoshop and painting. It's just like we gotta chill. We gotta somebody's trigger happy.
Paint. This wasn't Canva, y'all. This was in paint.
Hello, Microsoft
it really
Paint.
Was. It was come on, I'd like to think that the poster maker listens to our show. We love you and greatly admire your work.
Yes,
we do.
Let's not do this again.
Yes. Yes, and yes.
We know you could do better. We know you could do better.
We've seen it. Junebug was a delight. That poster was beautiful. Probably, I'll say, yeah.
My Argentine heart, it looked like they hated each other in that poster.
I think they gave up on that. I feel like they just was like, we don't know what else to do, so we're just gonna put them both on there.
They could have been on a rant somewhere. They could have did something.
Like
they could have been on set taking a picture together. That could have been a poster. Like,
come on. Polar Opposites had the best poster of all.
They sure did.
Agreed. No question.
No question.
So, Mr. Poster Maker that's listening, look at the Polar Opposites. Do more of that. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So there we go on Twitter. And we got Reese Wright says, I enjoyed all three I saw. Wesley Eversole says Polar Opposites. Mary says the perfect setting, and Christina says the perfect setting. So
hey, look, those two
way
are
to go. But let us know what you think if you're listening and how you would rank these movies. We'd love to hear in the comment section what you think about all the different things we talked about. We'd love to hear more from you. And Jazzman, how can people follow you?
You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Shreem16, SHREEM16.
And Dara, what about you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Dear Hallmark and also YouTube at Dear Hallmark. And then I have a podcast by that same name, Dear Hallmark, wherever your ear takes in podcasts.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes, and over on my channel at Rachel's Reviews. I'm starting this week, starting Jane Austen month. I've done it for the last 6 years, so it's gonna be real fun. So I'd love if you check that out. And if make sure you're following Hallmarkies podcast all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We're really trying to get to 10K subscribers this year. So please subscribe. And check out the patron group. We have Emily Ting joining us for this month for our patron activity writer and director, Emily Ting. So that's going to be super fun. We have lots of great activities and other things that you get to be a benefit of if you join the Patreon. And we have our merch store where we have Valentine designs in the merch store. So definitely please take a look at that. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.